So this week I take you to the village of Rogów, which is about, I don't know, 50 minutes away from Warsaw by train, just outside of Łódź. It's not the biggest place for sure, but it has a pretty cool arboretum. And we're here during the kind of Polish autumn, so there was some lovely gold and red on the trees. And we found a nice random kind of old train station. There's like a narrow gauge railway. And to be honest, that was about it. But I continue to explore and I'm showing you everything I can find in Poland. So I hope you enjoy.
Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. This channel is going to bring you everything you need to know about Poland. I am exploring the country, bringing you the history, trying to tell you about the culture and show you what it is really like to live here. So feel free to check out my other media, Instagram, Facebook, and I will share links to those in the comments. I also have a website, www.britlivinginpoland.com, where I collate my videos for easy to view manner. Also, you are welcome to contribute to my efforts through Patronite or Patreon, and all descriptions are available below the video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please come back for more by subscribing, liking, or commenting. Thank you very much. Do zobaczenia.
So Rogów is in the Łódź Voivodeship, and as I said, about 50 minutes or so by train from Warsaw. And as said, not the biggest of places. The population is about 4,500 these days. And many people have commented on videos saying, I don't go to enough of the villages in Poland, so I'm hoping videos like this will prove you wrong. So we got to the train station and we had a little bit of a walk. We went near the beginning of November, so it was a bit chilly, but we had a lovely sunny day, which is always better for these videos. I think it was about 30 minutes walk or so to get to the arboretum. We're just passing some of the very nice houses in the fields here. You can imagine it must be a very quiet place to live. We didn't really see many locals when we were out and about, and this was, I think it was a Sunday, so probably explains why a lot of people are indoors. And you can imagine that this place looks very different in the summer months. As you can see, a lot of the trees are already starting to lose their leaves. And I'm sure this orchard would be full of fruit. We did see some red apples on one of the trees, I believe. But we basically started with the arboretum because I would say it is the main feature. And I was put onto this by a friend of mine, Aga, who recommended coming along to see it. So the arboretum itself was established in 1923. And this happened immediately after the Minister of Agriculture and Public Welfare transferred part of the forests of Skieniawice, which is another local village, to the forest district. Skieniawice Forest District to the Warsaw University of Life Sciences. So, on July 5th, 1919, it was transferred for scientific and research purposes. And initially there were about 100 species of trees of foreign origin planted in this area. So you could say it had some noble goals, humble traditions. It got neglected during World War II, unsurprisingly, and a couple of harsh frosts kind of devastated it. But it did come back. You can say some of the significant development was done in 1951 by engineer Henryk Eder, who became the director of the Arboretum. And his main goal was to modernize the garden. So he made these geodetic maps, marked out a network of roads, and founded a nursery, a utility room, and a greenhouse. These days, it contains about 3,200 species and varieties of plants, including the largest collection of maples in Poland. And we probably spent a couple of hours here. It's quite a large expanse. And maybe we could have gone a week earlier, but still, even at this kind of time at the beginning of November, there was still a lot of beautifully coloured leaves. So I was really glad that we got here before the season ended, because this is like the period known as Złota Polska Jesień, so Golden Polish Autumn, which seems to get shorter each year. I think this year it maybe lasted for about 3 or 4 weeks, it felt like. So mainly sort of towards the end of October and beginning of November is really when we got to see it. I think historically it tended to last more over September and October. And if you watch my seasons video, you'll learn a little bit more about that. But you can see we had some beautiful sights here. But while we're walking through the arboretum, let's say a little bit about Rogów. So Rogów has historically been covered with impressive and rich forests. It had the name Puszka Rogówska, or Pusza Rogówska. I need to translate that at some point. It's said that the village itself was, I think, founded around the kind of time of the 14th century by the Rogowski family. And it was called Rogowu back then. I think it changed names. But originally, the village was actually located more to the west on the Moroga River. And it was kind of moved across when the railway came in the mid-19th century. So it was then known as the Warsaw-Vienna Railway. And basically a lot of the settlements were built along the tracks, unsurprisingly, because of the transport link that was suddenly there. And in 1914, a narrow gauge railway was built on the Rogów Terrace. And we're going to see the remnants of that sort of towards the end of the video. And that was 49 kilometers long. It was built for military purposes by the Germans during World War I. In the interwar years, it was the basic means of transport for both passengers and goods in the Rawa region. And at that time, the narrow gauge railway was treated as a branch of this basic broad gauge railway, and for many decades it played the role of an important communication hub. After Poland regained independence, the railway was taken over by PKP, and lasted until 2001, when PKP decided to liquidate the line. However, the line was saved by volunteers, narrow gauge enthusiasts from the Polish Narrow Gauge Railway Foundation, and since then it has been under their management. And over the course of 6 years past, the historic rolling stock has been renovated and tourist transport has been resumed. So to continue the story of Rogów, so there was a significant glassworks that was present during 1905 to 1939. However, it was sadly destroyed during the bombing in the war. Oh, this is the Museum of Wood and Plants, or Wood and Nature, or something like that. A lot of stuffed animals, which my girlfriend wasn't too happy with. But there was also a lot about trees here. And bugs, I love this like library of trees in a way. But yeah, that was a random thing. You can get a combined ticket, by the way, if you want to see the Arboretum and the museum on the same trip, and I think it saves you a few zloty. But continuing the history, so the commune area of Rogów was the site of many war events during both World Wars. In the First World War, there was a large battle between Germans and Russians. In the Second World War, on September 6th, 1939, in the forests behind Marianów, a clash between Polish soldiers took place with German troops. And since February 1942, the Polish resistance movement, or more precisely the Sama unit in the Home Army, operated in the commune. And the conspiratorial division of the territory was the Jari and Doły regions. And at the end of 1940, the occupiers established a Jewish ghetto in the area of the railway station in Rogów, where they placed the entire local Jewish population, consisting of about 20 families. And at the beginning of 1941, the Jews were deported by rail, which ultimately decided their fate. So even the smallest places in Poland can still have a tragic history. And it's surprising that, that this place has gone for like 600 years or so. This was a pretty impressive church that we found there. Here's a monument to Katyn. And I think we're about to get to another monument. And I think this is for Polish soldiers who were killed or executed during the German occupation. So we had a good few hours in Rogów. It's, as I said, not the biggest place. There was one thing which we didn't get to see. We just didn't have the time. There is meant to be like a palace complex, which I think from the centre is about 40 or 50 minutes walk away. But by the time we'd seen the arboretum and, been to the site coming up next, which is this narrow gauge railway I was talking about, it was getting dark, it was cold. So we opted not to take the further trip. And by the way, this narrow gauge railway area was completely free to walk around. I was very surprised because they could easily charge for this. I don't know when it operates, perhaps more in the summer. It has this like little route that you can take. There are a few of these narrow gauge railways dotted around Poland that are still, active for, let's say, tourist reasons. But it was very well kept, and even being completely open, there was no sign of vandalism. There was no sign of desecration. It was all, wonderfully preserved. You could enter some of the train carriages. Here's the old ticket office. But yeah, Rogów, as I say, very easy journey from Łódź or Warsaw. It's a nice place. So thank you for watching. Do zobaczenia.